Alright guys, I am back with another Claymore review. Thank you for being patient with me while I get everything moved into the new house and everything. I'm sorry it's been a while since there's been a volume review, but don't worry, I'm doing 2 volume reviews today. Also, Whiteboard Claire is back, but she also had a little bit of an accident. She doesn't really, she kind of lost a little bit of an arm there, but you know, she'll be okay. It's cool. Don't worry about her. She'll be fine. So I am going to be reviewing volume 6 and 7 in this video, and I gotta say that I really do like how Claymore is ramping up. I like how the story is progressing, and I like the new sort of intricate designs that we're getting of the awakened Yoma creatures, sort of like our demonic entities of the story. Now, if you guys know anything about me, obviously my love of Berserk, my love of Gantz, I love weird, monstrous, disgusting, disturbing designs when it comes to creatures and demons and aliens, you know, whatever the fuck it's going to be, whatever kind of creature that your story has. I like it to be as strange and as awkward to look at it and as disturbing as possible. It's probably one of the reasons I really love the movie The Thing by John Carpenter, just because that creature can have so many different forms and identities as it goes about. And I like how all these different awakened Yomas have different forms and different looks to them, and different sort of like, some of them look like creepy spiders and snakes, and some have like a million tentacles going in every direction. Also, those tentacles can be a little penetrative. I don't know if that's supposed to be like symbolism of something, but I felt like maybe it was with the male Yoma and the dominating and the penetrating, and I don't know, because like ever since it was mentioned that the transformation into a Yoma is a lot like sexual release, like a sexual desire where you're sort of like trying to restrain it once you reach that sort of point of no return where you have to go into your orgasm, into your demonic form. It's just sort of like makes me feel like everything about this sort of dark demonic sense of Yoma has like a sexual connotation to it. I don't know, I could be way off base of that. Also, maybe it makes sense with there being all female claymores that are able to control it better, and then the males are sort of like these giant domineering things that fully give in to their pleasure and bliss. Can't speak for anyone else but myself as a man, but I gotta say that, you know, once you're at that tipping point, it's kind of hard to edge yourself back. Anyways, what am I talking about? I don't know. We're talking about Claymore. So the beginning of volume 6, we do get to see the final confrontation between the first male Yoma that we see and the group of characters. Now, I kind of forgot a lot of their names. I know that Miria is sort of the strongest one there. She's the number 6 in the hierarchy of the Claymores. Obviously, Claire is there. Deneve, I think she's the one that was on the verge of death and regenerated. I can't quite remember but they were able to take down the male Yoma, mostly because of Claire's ability to stay calm, and I really like that sort of aspect of it. It's sort of like the more you refrain from using your Yoma abilities in battle, the better you do against them, sort of. Like in a weird way, because she's using her ability to sense the Yoma energy and sort of like direct her way around it, remaining in the calm state. And I always talk about being in the calm state and that sort of like state of being that you get into when you're in very hyper intense physical situations, but you're in such a high state of adrenaline that everything else feels very slowed down around you. It feels like you're moving a lot faster than your normal perception. It's a very strange feeling. A lot of people have experienced it. If you do martial arts, I guarantee you've experienced it. If you play a lot of sports, you've probably experienced it. If you do a lot of things that require a lot of quick physical movement, you've probably reached this calm state. Miyamoto Musashi talks about it a lot in his book and also in the Vagabond series, where you sort of just reach this state of where everything just slows down and you're able to perceive everything at a much quicker rate. And I feel like this sort of attributes to Claire's ability to sort of access that sensing of the Yoma. And it sort of, I definitely noticed that within volume 6 and 7, using the Yoma abilities, sort of, it kind of became clear to me that this is the power system of the manga. So a lot of shonen manga have different power systems, whether it's, you know, ki or nen or stands or, you know, whatever the hell it is. And this is technically a shonen manga, and I realized in this volume that, yeah, the ability to access this Yoma aspect of yourself is sort of like the power system, whereas you're able to go in and access it, you know, get it, that boost of energy, get that boost of rage or that boost of sexuality, whatever it is, kind of bringing that physical feeling to the forefront, and you get this intense boost of energy that can help you and benefit you. But if you go too far, use it too much. So it's sort of like you have what you pay into it, you get in the back end. So you're able to use it to an intense degree and you can power up yourself and do these amazing things. But the more you tap into it, the more likely you are to lose yourself to it and become a full Yoma yourself and kind of lose your humanity. After defeating the male Yoma, I do like how the characters get together and talk about what I've been theorizing since I think Volume 2, and that's sort of the conspiracy theory behind the organization organizing these Claymores. Now, they don't go into details, and unfortunately, Maria, she doesn't go into really any... She goes into her own personal details about what happened with her and what made her suspicious about the organization to begin with, but she says that she learned a lot of their secrets, but of course does not divulge that information to us, the audience, or the other characters just yet, which was a little bit annoying, I'm not going to lie, because I'm kind of curious about what's actually happening here. I realize this is only Volume 6, and so they're probably dragging it out, but the fact that you have all these characters here that were literally sent on a suicide mission where the organization obviously wanted them to be killed by this male Yoma, you know, sending them on this mission, which they succeeded, and so they're going to play it off as in, oh, good, you did exactly what we asked for, even though what they really wanted was to eliminate these potential threats. And so I'm just trying to decide, like, what is the overall objective of this organization? Because, okay, it seems like they abduct girls, or at least, like, you know, bring in sort of these weak or broken girls, have them transform into part Claymores, and then they send them to towns to kill Yomas, you know, sort of one by one, and while the organization gets paid in the backhand. And it seems like the Claymores, they are very much expendable, just like, you know, sort of like a brutal reality of a lot of the lives of, you know, soldiers that you send out on the front lines. You know, it's kind of really sad and scary when you think about it, because you're devoting your life to this cause, and then someone else is in charge of deciding when you die, essentially. So I mean, that's something that, like, is talked about a lot in stories, you know, dealing with, like, knights and soldiers and everything like that. But with the Claymore, it's even more so, because they're actively, you know, giving them the abilities that are going to coincide with them losing their humanity and eventually dying. But anyway, they do sort of agree that there's something up with this organization and that they want to take it down, but there's not really anything they can do at this moment, and they sort of have to play along that they went out on their mission and accomplished it, so they go their separate ways. So I was a little bit concerned about that, because I thought we were building sort of a new team of characters. I thought that Raki was going to kind of go away, and like, oh, maybe Raki was just sort of something that the author, you know, wrote in the beginning of the story that he's not going to keep, because Claire keeps putting Raki like, hey, go stay at this hotel while I go do the cool stuff in the manga. But then again, Raki is sort of the one that's, I guess, maybe her closest tie to humanity right now, sort of represents what she was to Teresa. So he's got an important role. I get annoyed by kid characters a lot. I don't know what it is. I just, something's wrong with me. I don't know what it is. Maybe I just hate children. I don't know what it is. Just kid characters just tend to annoy me. But then again, that's not true, because I love Hunter x Hunter and I love Gon and Killua. So maybe it's just kid side characters. I don't know what it is. You know, I think it all stems back from when I was watching Jurassic Park as a child, and even as a child, I hated the kid characters in that movie. Like, I wanted to hang out with Alan Grant. I didn't want to hang out with the kids. Maybe that's something I should look inside and reflect on myself about. But anyways, after that, it seems that things are going to go back to normal. Claire goes into a new town, defeats a new Yoma, and then she is paired up with, we actually get the information on who the top 5 strongest Claymores are, which we get name dropped of all of them. From 5 to 1, it's Ophelia, Galatia, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, Beth, and Alicia. And there is a Claymore watching them from the distance whose name is not given, or at least I didn't catch her name within these 2 volumes. So I'm assuming that's either Alicia or Beth, like one of the top 2, because she seems to be extremely powerful. She's keeping her distance. She's able to sense them while they're not sensing her. So she's got a lot of potential kind of build up here. So we're not exactly sure who she is. But the other character we meet is Ophelia, who is the 4th strongest Claymore. And she meets Claire in this volume, or at the end of Volume 6, beginning of Volume 7, and Ophelia is just a straight up, like, horrible person. So Ophelia right away senses the awakened Yoma within Claire, or at least how she got really close that one time. So she has a scent to her. She has like an aura to her in a way, and Ophelia picks up on it like that and begins to challenge Claire. Now, I don't know specifically if Ophelia got sort of a mission from a higher up to take out Claire, whether that's actually in the background, and we don't really get to know that or not. But Ophelia immediately just kind of comes in, starts wrecking shop, and pretty much just puts Claire to the test. And I love how quickly the brutality happens within this manga, where it's just like a quick flash within a second, and then all of a sudden Claire's legs are chopped off, and she's like, oh yeah, go try to reattach your legs while I just like fuck with this child over here and like fight him in a sword fight, but I'm going to increasingly up my skill every couple of seconds, so let's see if you can reattach your legs before I kill this child. So it's like she doesn't care. And when it comes to the rule of like killing humans, she basically just says like verbatim, like, I do it, I just don't let anybody know about it, so nobody comes for me for the punishment because I don't let word get out that I do it. If I do it, I kill everybody around in the area. So yeah, so right there shows that she's abusing her power, and that there's no sense of just general morality when it comes to the Claymores. It just seems to be that whoever's personality it is, that's who they are before and after turning into a Claymore. Whereas Priscilla had this like self-righteousness about her. She had this sort of moral superiority. Ophelia is more so in like, I'm going to use this power to do whatever the hell I want. I'm just going to skeet beneath the surface and sort of not let anybody know about the weird shit that I'm up to, and just sort of have fun while I'm doing it. And she's totally like basks in it, and is one of the best, probably because she lets herself go into that aspect of herself. It also shows that it doesn't really matter like your sense of morality when it comes to becoming a full-fledged Claymore, because it seems like you would think that maybe people with more like darker tendencies like Ophelia would be more likely to become a full-fledged Yoma, whereas Priscilla, you know, you could say maybe was on the opposite spectrum of that, but still, I mean, ultimately they both turned. So everybody has an equal opportunity, or an equal, what do you want to say? Yeah, maybe opportunity. I don't know the word I'm looking for. Sorry, live off the cuff. I apologize about that. Sometimes I can't find my words, but so it doesn't matter. Like the quality of your character of a person does not matter in terms of how likely it is you are to turn to a Claymore. All that matters is how much you access that power. And if you try to access that power for good or evil, doesn't matter. The power is the power. It's neutral. You know, the power is just there. Depending on how you access it, will result in what happens to you. It doesn't matter for what reasons you're accessing it. So there is an awakened Yoma that happens to show up between while the battle between Ophelia and Claire is going on, and this one was really cool. I really like the design of the creature. I like the tentacles and everything, and I like, again, just how quickly the action happens. I like how quickly it like tried to snap Ophelia's neck, and then again how quickly Ophelia came right back and just like disintegrated it. And then the battle between Claire and Ophelia was terrifying. I love this. I love this fight because I like seeing main characters at a disadvantage. I like when characters are vulnerable. I like when characters feel human. I like when you actually feel the tension for a character. And sometimes that's hard to do with a protagonist because you're trying to make them look as good as possible. Or you have characters like Claire, you know, where you have superpowered characters that can heal and, you know, are above and beyond the capabilities of a normal person. And so, like, it's harder to perceive them being in danger, you know, as a character. So I like when she's placed up against, I think the story did a good job at showing that she's like number 40 something on the scale, and now she's face to face with number 4, and it shows just how far advanced Ophelia is over her. And I really like that aspect of it because it did add to the tension, how she gets her arm chopped off, and then because of that she allows herself to get slashed and fall off a cliff to sort of like fake her death so she can take the time to heal. But Ophelia was 10 steps ahead, realizing she was doing the fake out, met her at the bottom of the cliff, and then continued to taunt her along the way. So all of that was great. It was a good fight. Definitely enjoyed every aspect of that. Now, how Volume 7 ends is we get reintroduced to the character of Elena. And Elena was one of the 4 Claymore that went to originally assassinate Teresa back when Priscilla first transformed and killed everybody, supposedly killed everybody. But Elena still survived, also missing an arm. So Elena is able to find and rescue Claire and then begins a training sequence with her, which I really liked. I'm a sucker for training sequences, training montages. Give me all of the shonen training tropes. I love it. I love seeing characters grow, get stronger, faster, learn new techniques and all that. So I'm all about that. Huge fan of that shit. This one, I mean, it was going a little bit quickly, I will say. I would have wanted to see a little bit more training. We might get that. I don't know. I'm only up to the end of Volume 7, so I'm not exactly sure. And she even sacrifices one of her own arms to give to Claire. And the reason she's doing this to Claire is because she sort of disassociated herself from the organization. She probably knows a lot of the secrets about it as well. And also, she has this sort of respect for Teresa, even though she was sent out to assassinate her. Because of dealing with her, being there in the moment, seeing everything go down, she does have this sort of innate respect for her. And the reason that Claire is a Claymore is because she used Teresa's blood. And I like how it's explained that makes her, again, a little bit even weaker, because she's used the blood of a half-breed to become one, so she's like a quarter breed in a way. And then also, she's like the last living remnant of Teresa. Now, I don't know if Claymore can have children or not. That has yet to be addressed. I don't know if they can get pregnant. I don't know if they're capable of being mothers. But if they're not, then the aspect of, the only way that Teresa lives on, her legacy or her genetics or whatever it is, whatever made her great is now passed down to you. So it's sort of like an allegory for like that maternal vibe, whereas Teresa would pass down to the next generation. I see her in you. I mean, it's literal because she did like literally used her blood to transform anyways, but like what I'm getting out of it is it's sort of like seeing someone's daughter fully grown, or seeing somebody's legacy, or doing that sort of next generation thing where it's like, I see potential in you because I know who your mother, quote unquote mother, was. And so I want you to go on and be the best that you can possibly be. Meanwhile, Ophelia fully gives into her Yoma self as her defeat at the hands of Elena, and she transforms into a full-fledged Yoma, who I really like her design as well. She's got like a long like anaconda-like tail. Very, very cool. And the Volume 7 ends pretty much with the rematch being set up between Claire and Ophelia. Claire now having both arms back, one arm belonging to Elena, and learning the quick sword technique against this new Yoma version of Ophelia. So really cool to see how this shakes down. I'm curious to see how this battle goes. Like I said, I'm loving the creature designs. I'm loving the setup. But the thing that I want to get more into is the organization. I want to learn more about what they're doing, the reasons why they're doing it, and sort of the intricacies behind it. I want to learn more about the male Yomas. We know a little bit about them, and we at least know like why they weren't chosen to be the Claymores, but I still feel like they're in on whatever the organization is doing, or at least are okay with it. Like, he knew that these Claymores were coming here and he was going to kill them and assassinate. Like, he's like, this is what I do. This is my job. Like, I come here, I defend myself, and I kill the Claymores they send to me. And so, like, it's like he's not doing his own thing. It's like he's still following the organization. So I don't know, man. So what I'm hoping for moving forward is I hope that we get more intricacies of the organization. That's what I want to see. And I also want to assemble a team here, because we have Claire. Elena is here kind of performing the role of the mentor character, which means she probably is going to die. And I like the other characters that were introduced, like Maria and stuff, but then they sort of agreed to have their pact and went their separate ways. So I'm waiting for them to sort of reconvene. I want to get our team assembled. I don't know if Raki is going to continue to be part of like the team itself and get stronger. I mean, he could probably become a good warrior himself, but it seems that like whenever the story starts to get too serious, he gets sent away, which makes sense for the story, as in it's his safety, but also he's sort of separated from like the main story of what's happening with the Claymores and stuff. So I don't know where that's gonna go. But anyways, definitely enjoying it, definitely still loving it and everything. Really, really do enjoy this series. Can't wait to read some more for you guys, but I wanted to at least get you guys a review today. So that's my review for Volume 6 and 7. Definitely loving it. Excited to see where it goes next. Tell me what you guys think about these volumes down below in the comments. Tell me what your thoughts and theories or everything is. If you're reading along with me, sorry for the gap between the last video and this one, but let me know what you think of these volumes, man. Put all your thoughts, theories, ideas, comments down below. Other than that, guys, thanks as always for the support and following me on this channel. It really does mean a lot to me. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support you've given me while going through this move and having to do these like the live streams and stuff like that. Thank you guys for being there. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Share it with other Claymore fans. I'd really appreciate it. Other than that, guys, I hope you all do have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll talk to you guys next time.